that's on TV. Big dog, he the voice of the streets. It's too much killing in the hood, why they creeps out the violence? Look at your little kids, how you say that's not your problem? Yeah, we gon' debate after that. What, wait, teach these brothers that they kings, maybe they won't have to dream. It's a new day, a new era. Time to fall in love with that black that you see up in that mirror, nigga. Peace and love, unity and power, but sit your ass down, it's for the scholars. Minute after minute, hour after hour, let me shout out my Yahweh. You can shout out what you lean on. We going live, bring your screen on. Grab a seat, get this knowledge when the team on. Better pay attention before you end up in detention. Let me mention who it be inside that TV. Black peace, black love, black power, sa.neter TV. We can reach the world of power on sa.neter TV. We can do it. If we each show up, what's stopping sa.neter TV? Now here you see, yeah, on sa.neter TV. I don't hate you, black man, I just hate you cause you hate me. And I ain't did you nothing, but you looking all shady. Maybe it's Mercedes or that demon in the driveway. Maybe I can show you how to get it, but you sideways. Putting on that YouTube sa.neter TV. Yeah, you cooking in the kitchen, but it's no pig. I can give you
all right, Napah.
years, but you can't.
Napah.
Can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard. I'm out.
Okay, great. Hi, how are you, Ron Dalton?
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think we met before, right? On the last show?
Yes, we did. We did.
Okay.
I don't think, I mean, I listened in, but I just want to be sure your position. So your position is like who, I didn't get to hear, unfortunately, who you say Esau is. Can you tell me?
Yeah, Esau is a lineage that has admixed himself with Africans, Shemitic tribes, and what you might call today European tribes. But he has not replaced, you know, the whole European nation or the whole African nation or the whole Shemitic speaking nation with his bloodline, with his male seed. That's where the Israelites fall in error. And you can prove this easily with history, genetics, and other things. But mainly you can use history and genetics to steal the deal and just cancel all of these erroneous teachings on Esau is the white races.
Put this under. Okay, so who put us in slavery? Under your tongue, leave it. Who put us in slavery?
Yeah, so when you talk about us, I like to describe us in terms of a DNA haplogroup. So regardless of what you're talking about, let's say the Kikuyu, the Abagusi, the Akamba, the Sukuma, the Zulu, the Xhosa, the Bukongo, the Ashanti, the Igbo, the Yoruba, all the Mandinka in Senegal, Gambia, they all have the same Y DNA from the father, E1B1A. And on the East African side, when the Arab slave trade started, as far back as 300 to 600 AD, the Arabs, the black Arabs, were enslaving the Bantu people, our descendants, or our ancestors, I'm sorry. They were taking us on slave ships or dhows to the Arabian, countries. The Indians also, the East Indians and the Persians, they also came along that Red Sea coastline of the East African, part, and they took a lot of slaves, Bantu slaves, to the east. Now, I'm talking about the transatlantic slave trade of Central Africa and West Africa. The European countries came to Africa, and the African kings and chiefs that were the same DNA as us, they were Bantu, they were Israelites. They had neighboring tribes that they had wars with and conflicts, and they would capture prisoners of war and from other tribes and keep them in prison in their land. And a lot of these people, including some of their own people, these kings and chiefs that have the same DNA as us, that were the same lineage as us, they facilitated the sale of black people, their own people of the same bloodline and ancestral lineage, to the white man for the goods that the white man said, I will give to you in return for these slaves. So yes, the white man did go into Africa and start stealing some slaves, but for the most part, a lot of these areas, they already had villages, towns, chiefs, elders, kings, and princes that knew about these white people that were coming to the coast of the land, and they wanted to take people away. And so slavery was a thing that had to do with Israelites, Hamites, Ishmaelites, meaning Shemitic Arabs, and the white man participating in the slave trade. So in the slave trade, all parties were a participant. You even have people that were Egyptians in Cairo that had slaves. They had slave areas. They were hold the slaves, and then people would come and buy slaves. They had it in Sudan, in Suakin Island. They had it in Cairo. They had the Cairo slave markets. They had it in Mogadishu in Somalia. They had it in Zanzibar. They had it in West Africa and Cabina and Loango and Badagry Island and Omina and Cape Coast. Yeah, and even Goree Island and St. James Island. So even slaves were held in Sao Tome and Principe on these islands off the coast of Africa, so they could ship them to the Portuguese and the Spanish. So the participation of the slave trades of our people were done by Israelites, Ishmaelites, Hamites, Europeans. So it was basically like a conglomerate of people that were responsible for the slave trades. It wasn't just white people. That's something that people need to look up and kind of do their research on the history of the slave trade. It wasn't just white people. They were the ones that were buying and selling the slaves when they got to Africa, because the African kings and chiefs, they were the ones that say, okay, take these people away. And the white man said, okay, I'm gonna give you this in return, and we'll be back later. And the chiefs and the kings had to decide whether or not they were going to continue to do business with them. Even the Arabs, even the Hamites, even the Tuaregs and the Fulanis that did not have our DNA, but they're the descendants of Cush, and put the Tuaregs and the Fulanis and the Hausas, they did have Bantu Israelite slaves, and they sold us to the next highest bidder that wanted to take us on the ocean to the Americas and the Caribbean.
Okay, so the slave trade was an actual business. It was a commercial business for a while, centuries, right? So, Are you saying that white people aren't the ones who benefited from the slave trade financially. I'm not talking about Arabs who were like working in the business. Who set the business up, like the slave trade? I'm not talking about the little guy. Who was the one with the ships transporting Black Africans around the world for commodity as a commodity? Was it Africans and Arabs, or was it European, Spanish, and other European groups, Portuguese? Who was it? Are they white?
The first people that started it was the Black Arabs. They're the ones that started it in East Africa, the Arab slave trade. Or
They had ships, and they were bringing them to the Americas.
They had ships, and they were taking them to the Arab worlds, and some were taking them as far as into China. Yes.
Okay. So in America, were there Arabs here running the slave trade, building America, or were they white Europeans in America, in the United States particularly?
Yeah. So in the western part of Africa, the Europeans were coming to the coast of Africa and making deals with the Hausa, the Fulani, the Tuaregs, and the African or the Bantu Israelite chiefs. So you had Hamites and Israelites that were making deals with the white man, and the white man, after making the deal, he took his cargo or his merchandise on slaves to the Americas.
Hold that thought. You said a lot before, so I want to keep you right there, if you don't mind. Who benefited? Who made the most money off of African commodities, human beings? Who was it? The Arabs, the Africans who sold them out, the Israelites who sold them out, or the white Europeans? I just need you to pick one group so I can ask you some more questions.
Yes, in terms of money, in terms of building a nation, making money with cotton and tobacco, the children of Japheth are the ones that dominated and made the most money off of the slave business from West Africa and Central Africa. The children of Japheth. Okay,
now got you. Now, why do you say that about Japheth? Where do you get that information?
Because prior to the Roman Empire, the other nations of Japheth, the people that are the descendants of the Proto-Europeans, they came from the north and the east. So north of the old Roman Empire, they came from the north and the east. The Germanic tribes, the Turkish people, the Ottoman Turks, these Slavic, Turkic, Germanic tribes came to Western and Eastern Europe, and they conquered the old Roman Empire in 476 AD, 1,000 years before the slave trades would even start. So these Germanic, Slavic, and Turkic tribes that existed in Europe prior to Esau being born, they're the ones that conquered and basically socialized and populated these regions that we call today Spain, Portugal, Great Britain, France, Germany, the Netherlands, even Rome and Italy, even Italy, Rome, and Greece. So these nations, these Proto-European children of Japheth that existed prior to Esau being even born, they made up these European countries that in the 1600s were the ones that were coming to the coast of Africa to make deals to put the cargo slaves on the ships and send them to America. It's not the Edomites.
Right, but you do know in the history that the Edomites took over Japheth. There's information, there's a plethora. I mean, I can't get into it too much, but I'm more than willing to, you say the Hebrews are afraid of you. I'm more than willing to debate you on that, because there's so much information. I'm going to take you back to the Bible, because some people might not, it's neither here nor there. I can say it's this and you could say it's that, but people who know the Bible, who's the main adversary of Jacob in the Bible? Is it Japheth or is it Esau?
The main adversary of the Israelites in the Bible is not just Esau, because when you read Ezekiel 38, Esau.
I gotta stop you because I didn't ask you how many adversaries. I know there are many. Who's the main
Okay.
adversary? The main adversary, the antithesis of Jacob in the scriptures, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Jacob is the beginning of the world, Esau is the end. Who's the main adversary of Jacob? It's an easy answer.
I understand that Esau was the adversary in the beginning of Jacob. But remember, Esau cannot replace a whole nation.
No, I didn't ask you that, Ron. I didn't ask you that. I asked you one question. Who is the main? No, I am. I'm giving you a chance. I'm going to let you keep going, but I need you to stick with you can't run. Who is the adversary of Jacob? Is it Japheth or is it Esau in the Bible?
Esau and Amalek in the beginning were the adversaries of the Israelites when they left the Exodus with Moses. Yes.
So who stole the birthright from Esau?
Jacob did. Well,
Jacob. So did Jacob? Brother, did Jacob he stole his, because what you're doing, I will let you go. You went a long time. You talked about how the Africans are also, you went a long time and you talked about how the Africans are responsible for the slave trade, just like everybody else. Now I'm asking some tough questions and I need you to be honest. In the scriptures, Japheth is not the adversary of Jacob. It is Esau, right?
Okay, Napah, let me ask you something. At the end, when does the end happen for the Israelites? When is the end? What is the last battle? What is the last battle? What is the last battle of the Israelites?
In the valley? It's over in the Levant. It's supposed to be. I think what is it called? Timnon. I can't remember the name, but I know. What about it? You're talking about Are you talking about Gog and Magog?
Okay, in Ezekiel 38, this is the last battle of the antagonist versus the Israelites, correct?
Yeah, you're talking about Gog and Magog, right?
In Ezekiel 38, it lists nations, not the nation of Esau or Edom. It lists the nations of Gomer, Magog, Meshech, Tubal, Togarmah. Now, are these the nations of Esau or the nations of Japheth?
I'm going to answer your question just like you took a while to answer my question about slavery. Listen to me carefully. This is important, everybody. Esau is known for taking over nations. Hey, brother, please, composure. Esau is known for taking, you talk about the Israelites. Remember when you were on the line remember when you were on the line with Nathaniel? Can I speak? You asked me a question. He's running.
You asked the question.
You won't let me answer.
The nations of Gomer, Magog, Meshech, Tubal, and Togarmah, are they of the lineage of Japheth or Esau?
And now you stop talking, right? I can speak?
So either the answer is Esau or Japheth.
No. Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Please. Okay, please don't interrupt me, because I didn't interrupt you when you said that Africans are also a bit. Okay, let me try again. Brother, my friend, if you let me speak without talking over me, you told us that Africans and Arabs are also. Okay, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna answer. I'm trying to answer. You won't let me answer. You keep talking over me. Are you sure? You sure? Because see, you did a whole dance about Africans and Arabs are also are responsible for slavery, not white people. I said quietly. I didn't say one word. I totally disagree, but I didn't speak over you. Now let me say this again, because I know it hurts. The Edomite is known for taking over nations. It's throughout he's hurt. He's hurt. Brother, I'm gonna try a third time. My friend, I'm about to answer.
Are they the lineage of Japheth or the lineage of Esau? It's more
and you know, I am, but you won't let me. You keep talking over me. My friend.
On Jacob and Esau, tell me, are these nations in Ezekiel 38 are the lineage of Japheth or Esau?
Okay.
You don't need a history lesson on Jacob and Esau. Tell me, are these nations in Ezekiel 38 that are listed, are they the descendants of Japheth or Esau?
Are you going to let me speak? This is getting ridiculous now.
I've been trying to.
I'm going to answer you if you let me talk. I am going to answer. My friend. Okay. Even if I don't answer questions, do you have to keep talking over me? Have some composure, please. Please. I'm trying to. It's Esau because, please don't talk over me. It's Esau. Please don't talk over me anymore. It's a bad look. It's a bad look for you, but thank you. It's Esau because Esau is known. Watch him start talking again. Esau is known for taking. I told you, it hurts. Esau is known for taking over nations. He took over. Look at Ptolemy. They took over Kemet. They take over all kinds of nations. They do. They come in and they pretend to. Oh, I know you won't stop. You just can't. No, sir.
Of Gomer, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, and Togarmah. In Genesis chapter 10, who is the father?
No, that's Esau.
Magog, Meshach, and Tubal. We can read it right now. Pull it up.
We know. What? Why are you? I thought you were so chill. I thought everybody's scared of you. You seem scared. But you won't let me talk. Because
that's what you said. You said it's Esau. So let's go to Genesis chapter 10.
Edomite make Gog and Magog. They took over that particular nation. Why are you? Anyway, let's just get the debate. Hey, how about this? Since you won't let me talk, you'll let me talk in a formal debate, right? You won't be able to talk over me. Let's get the debate. Are you scared? Do you have a problem debating women?
You failed a simple question. Napah,
you said all the Hebrews are scared of you. I answered you. No, I answered you. They took over that nation. When we talk, okay, I'm gonna try again. When we talk about Gog and Magog in the prophecy, that is Esau. That is no longer the actual line of Japheth. Now, I can get the debate with you, Ron, if you're not scared. No, that's weird. They're saying Napah, relax. What? I'm not the one that's freaking out. Listen, you want to get let me ask you a question. Do you want, I'm not embarrassed. You're the one freaking out. You're the one screaming and not letting me talk. I'm not embarrassed of myself.
You finally answered the question.
I did answer the question.
Esau is the father of Gomer, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, and Togarmah. And everybody that knows their Bible in Genesis chapter 10, you are incorrect.
Okay.
Pull it up right now.
I really didn't hear. Actually, I didn't even hear you, to be honest. I didn't hear you because I was trying to get to look. What I was trying to get out is this: you're saying they're Japheth, and I know they're not Japheth in the prophecy of Ezekiel. That's what I was trying to say. Maybe I said some things that you were getting a little hyped up. They're not. That is Esau in the prophecy, even though you say it's Japheth.
It even says. Togarmah, the son of Gomer. It even says Togarmah, the son of Gomer. It doesn't say Togarmah, the son of Esau.
Yeah, because
we have to start using our brain.
Okay, well let's get the debate then. I'm gonna let you close out and think about it. You won't debate me because you don't want a woman to beat you up.
You failed the question.
No, I didn't. No, I told you. I told you.
It says Togarmah, the son of Gomer. What do you think that means?
You're talking about Japheth, right?
Exactly. But you said that these nations are of the lineage of Esau.
Because you're not listening. They took in the prophecy with Gog and Magog, they took over the nation. It's not Japheth.
I know exactly what you're referring to in the book of Yasha. Just because Kittim takes over and subjugates Esau or Zepho does not mean that that nation becomes Esau. Just because the British came and subjected the Native American Indians and the Negroes under their domination does not mean that the Negroes and Native American Indians became the British.
Okay, well,
just because another nation subjugates another nation under their dominance and control does not mean that they become them. Does not mean that. Y'all gotta stop running with that. Does not mean that. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that Esau became Japheth. It's not in the Old Testament. So y'all can run to the book of Joshua but even the book of Joshua proves you to be wrong. And even the Old Testament says Gomer, the son of Togarmah. It doesn't say Gomer, the son of Esau, because Esau took over the children of Japheth. It doesn't say that in the Bible. It gives us nations that are the lineage of Japheth.
Okay.
Esau is nowhere in Revelation chapter 20 or in Ezekiel chapter 38. You know this.
All right. Now, can I speak? Because I was driving and it got a little crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. How can there be Ashkenazi Jews? How can it be Japheth, Ashkenaz, the children of Japheth, and then Judah? Like, how can they be two nations?
I don't understand your question. I mean,
My question is this, because you're saying, because I'm trying to point something out for you. They take over, they claim land, they claim lineage that is not theirs. That is their MO. That's how their mode of operations, operandum. Okay, like that is how they move. So you can keep on saying, who is this? And you can scream it. But God, that prophecy is not talking about the true line of Japheth. And I can prove it.
Whatever you say.
I can, no, not whatever I say. Watch this. You want the debate? You said everybody's running from you.
Napah, you couldn't even answer the.
So you're scared. So you don't want the debate.
No, Napah, you got to understand that.
So like, do you want the debate or not?
Napah, you are not on my scholastic level to debate.
Oh, I'm not. How am I not on your scholastic level and you don't even know the history of Gog and Magog and Japheth? How am I not on your level? Let me ask you another question. No, I'm not on your level. I'm not on your level, but you're saying white people aren't responsible for slavery? Come on, bro. Come on. You sat here and told the entire black audience. No, hold on. You're talking over me. Wait, I'm not on your level, but you told a whole black audience that white people aren't the only ones responsible for slavery, that Africans and Arabs are also equally responsible. You're not on my level. You're not on my level.
That's true.
Yeah, so you're not on your level. Okay, I'm not on your level, so you're scared to debate me?
You want to know why? Because in actual history, the Arabs, the Hausa, the Fulani, the Tuaregs.
We already know all that.
White men, they were all a part of the slavery process.
Who made the most money?
I don't care who made the most money.
I know you don't.
Ask me a question of who participated in slavery.
Who ran the business?
Slavery.
Who ran the business?
The Arabs, the Indians, the Persians. Yes.
So Persians and Arabs over here in America whipping us on our backs, making us pick cotton. You're tripping, bro. Take the debate or never say anything else about Hebrew Israelites in One West.
Arab slave trade took Bantu people as slaves.
You sure I'm worried? You worry a lot about Africans over in Africa. What about blacks? I thought it was Hebrews to Negroes.
We have the same DNA. We come from Africa, don't we?
Oh, no. We're over here in America. You asked me a question. We can't both talk at the same time. You asked me a question. Why do you talk over me? You have no respect. I'm trying to answer you. Don't talk over me, please. We got to America on the European slave ships, and guess what? We're the only ones that are dead. Why are you talking over me, sir? Why are you talking over me? We came to America on European slave ships, and we made money for Europeans. They made billions of dollars. Oh my God, you're still talking over me. They built empires. I'm going to try again. They built empires off of our blood, sweat, and tears. And guess what? We were disconnected. That's why you and I are up here having an argument about who we are. We were disconnected from Africa, unlike those who are still in the land and they know who they are. So we are a unique people. So the answer is yes, we're all black, but they don't have the same history and the same trauma and the same plight that we do. That is why we are the people of the book. You agree, right? Deuteronomy 28. But you think that everybody was responsible for slavery. Interesting. Interesting. I bet people who supported your film didn't know that you blame Africans and Arabs equally as you blame white people for the slave trade. I bet they didn't know that, right?
It's in my book, in my movie. It's there. It's there.
Okay.
They know.
So who else is beneath you? You said Nathaniel's beneath you. I'm beneath you. Oh, he's not beneath you, but he still couldn't answer your question, right?
I challenge the debate top Israelites.
Oh, top Israelites. So you're a clout chaser. So you're a clout chaser.
No, because I'm not an amateur. I'm not an amateur.
You're not an amateur? Again, Gog and Magog of that prophecy are Esau, and I will do a whole presentation on it. Since you're running, I'll still do a presentation on it and show it. Gog and Magog are not of the Japheth line in that Ezekiel prophecy. So you could say what you wanted. You could keep cloud chasing, call Billy Carson, try to get with Wes, whatever Huff. I'm going to keep on telling the truth over here on this channel. Okay, so you can cloud chasing Nathaniel and cloud chasing Tazariak, people who don't want to sit down with you because they think you're beneath them. And I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm going to show that you don't know what you're talking about, saying that Japheth is in the prophecy. Again, I'll close with this. Everybody, who is Jacob's adversary, Japheth or Esau? It's Esau, but this brother is confused because he's trying to save the white man, the African man, but he has the nerve to come in and play in our face and our emotions and talk about Hebrews to Negroes. Shame on you. I'll let you go ahead and close out because I got to close the show out. But look forward to tuning in and seeing me rebut what you said since you're too afraid to debate a low-level woman Israelite. You're looking for that clout. I can't be mad at you. Go ahead and close out. Thank you for answering my questions.
Okay. So like I said before, and I did a video on this, on Son of Shemites, Lorvins. I debunked this myth that Esau became all the white races and the children of Japheth just disappeared because Esau overtook them. That is a fallacy. It's a falsehood. It's a lie. It makes no logical sense. And when the Most High told Ezekiel to prophesy against these nations, the Most High is not confused. He didn't have to say prophesy against Esau because Esau has replaced the children of Japheth because all these Edomite men just impregnated all the women of Japheth prior to him even being born. So prior to Japheth, prior to Esau even being born, all of these Japheth children, Paras, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, Tiras, Gomer, all of these nations of Japheth that were having daughters and sons for hundreds, if not thousands of years prior to Esau even being born. Esau comes on the scene, and a couple of his guys, they impregnate all of the women of Japheth. Now we eliminated Japheth, it's all Esau now. But the Most High said in Ezekiel 38, prophesy against these other nations, not Esau, Gomer, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, Togarmah, the son of Gomer, not Esau, the son of Gomer. So we have to look at it, what the Bible actually says. And these nations, they have their own dwelling areas. They have their own dwelling areas. And they leave their dwelling areas to come to the land of the Israelites. And these dwelling areas are the areas where we see these nations coming all to the land of sub-Saharan Africa. We have the Germanic Europeans, we have the white Jews, the white Arabs, the Chinese, the Russians, and the East Indians, all coming where? To Israel? Nope. Coming to sub-Saharan Africa to spoil, to loot, to steal, to plunder, to prey upon the people, meaning the Israelites, in the land of Canaan, and all the things that the Bible says that they have, silver and gold, livestock, land. It's all in Ezekiel 38. Read the chapter Ezekiel 38, and you'll understand these things. And from the beginning to the end, and this is why I put all of this in the movie Hebrews to Negroes. 3, volume 3. Start with volume 1. Go to volume 2. Go to volume 3 on h2ntv.com. And I don't care what anybody says that was on her earlier, God killer. He said the scientific community does not accept you and what you're teaching. And I said to him that a part of the scientific fields, you have anthropology, archaeology, linguistics, genetics, hematology. I can go into various levels. I can go to dermatology, I can go to hematology, I can go to trichology, and prove to people that using the scientific fields that I just mentioned, that we can prove that we are the Israelites and we are not the Egyptians, and the Edomites did not take over all of the children of Japheth, because it says that Kittim took over Zepho and the Edomites, or the Zepho and the Edomites took over Chittim, or subjugated or conquered or ruled over Esau and Zepho, or slaved Esau and Zepho. No. So, people can keep thinking dogmatically and ignore research and information and facts, and keep believing what they want to believe, which is a theory based on no evidence and no facts, and they're not using logic and critical thinking. Or you can start to accept the facts and the proof and the evidence and the research and the receipts and the sources, because I have it all. It's on h2ntv.com. And that's the reason why these top Israelite leaders, these guys know the same books that you guys are reading out of, the book of Yashar, Jubilees, the Apocrypha, the Bible. Then why are these top Israelite leaders afraid to debate Ron Dalton?
Same reason you're afraid to debate me. They're scared of you. And you're scared of me.
You do not know more than Bishop Nathaniel.
No, but I do know this, brother. You said a lot. Do you mind if I say something?
You did not know more than all these Israelite leaders. Therefore, if they're running, then what makes you think?
Do you mind if I speak? I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you 2 questions. Doesn't the scripture say that the most, and I'm paraphrasing, the most base, the roughest, the lowest person will bring down those who think they know so much? I could get the scripture. That's rhetorical. I want to ask you a question. In 1st and 2nd Maccabees, when they talk about the Macedonians and all of the history of Ptolemy and Alexander the Greek, do you agree that those particular people were the Edomites, or you don't believe that either?
The progenitor of the Greek and Roman people are not Edomites. No.
Oh, wow. I could see why you're scared to debate me. And I'm not being funny. I don't mind, Ron. A lot of people are scared to debate me, and then they try to use stuff like she's a woman or you're the one that started, I matched your energy. I have a lot of respect for you as far as a person, but up here right now in this conversation, you kind of lost your composure, but that's okay. It happens to the best of us. When you said I'm not, wait, let me finish. I've been debating since 2019 professionally. And I think you can tell that I pretty much can hold my own in a debate. I'm not begging for a debate from you, but don't do all that, oh, you're a lower debater and all this, because I'm challenging you and you're sweating. So that's a sign. You weren't sweating up there with Nathaniel because he didn't even know how to answer you. I'm going to finish. You got to let me get this out, please. You say that they're not the Edomites, but they are, in fact, a different nation than Kemet, right? You agree that those people, Ptolemy, who came in and started ruling Kemet, you agree that they weren't Egyptians. They weren't Kemetic people, correct?
Why would I think that white people are Egyptians? Why would I think
I'm going to ask you again. That was a different nation, right? They weren't Kemetic, correct?
No, the Greeks were descendants of Japheth.
Okay, got it. We know you think that. But so they came in and they took over and started ruling. I can prove in my presentation, because I know I get it. You're a macho man. You don't want a woman to beat you up in a debate. So I'm going to get in here soon, probably this weekend, and show everybody the progenitors of those people, of Ptolemy. It goes back to the line of Esau. It's real easy. This is like basic Bible and Bible information and basic archaeology 101. This isn't even hard. This isn't even hard information.
Who's the father of Japheth? Who is the father of Japheth? Who's the father of Japheth?
Now you're asking me who's the father of Japheth?
No, who's the father of Japheth? Javan.
I believe you're going to say that the Greeks, and then you're going to say it goes back to Japheth. I got you. I got all that. We get it. We get it that you believe they're Japheth. I know your position, but it's flawed because you don't want to admit that through the Bible. I'm going to show people how this particular group of people continue to. You're right. They mix. You were right about that. They mix themselves, sir, I'm almost finished. I'm almost getting this whole sentence out. They mix themselves with different nations. They come in and they take, even the scripture says they don't respect borders. I'm paraphrasing. The actual scripture says Esau doesn't respect borders. He comes in, he changes up, he takes over nations, he changes everything. He changes time. But now I'm actually, when I walk away from this, it's not even that you think that Japheth is the adversary, the antithesis of Jacob. It's that you said the white man bears the same guilt as Arabs and Africans, the same when it comes to the slave trade. That's that's where I'm flabbergasted. Like, what man from America that is black, the progeny, the descendant of a slave, and then he says he stands for his people, would even try to equally blame any other nation than the actual white man for slavery, for the transatlantic slave trade. It's beyond me that you said that, but it's all good. It's all good, my friend. I'll let you have the last word for sure this time, but look forward to. Thank you for letting me get up here and prove that you are only debating people that you think you can beat. And it's all love, but it's interesting that you just don't want to debate me.
Okay, so the lineage of Javan, aka the Grecians, did not start with Alexander the Great in 300 BC. The Greeks and the descendants of Javan did not start at 300 BC. So we have to get that clear. That these sons of Japheth, they didn't just start at 400 BC, 300 BC. There were European civilizations, or you would call them Proto-Indo-Europeans, PIE, that lived and had civilizations for thousands of years before Esau was even born. From Western Europe to Eastern Europe to Central Asia, the Pontic Steppes, even to Far Asia with the Chinese civilization. So when you guys are saying that the Moabites and the Ammonites are the Chinese and the Esau is the white races, it does not line up with history, real history. It does not line up with genetics. It does not make any logical sense. And I know why people are thinking this for whatever reason, but I'm sorry, but prophecy itself is proving to be what we know it to be, because if you look at the Bible, it's telling us and showing us who are these nations that are coming against the true land of Canaan. And guess what? If these nations all were under one paternal lineage, and that's Esau, and Esau impregnated all these women, and we wouldn't see all these different nations that are in sub-Saharan Africa with different paternal haplogroups.
Do not tell them how to do it, okay?
Israel.
I got to do it. You hear me? Go ahead, and I'm going to change that out. I'm going to take that out. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to do multitask. All right, Ron, nice to talk to you again. Oh, and another thing too, I wanted to also, but I don't know if you because you said you're only looking for the top of the food chain, but I also wanted to debate you, or at least discuss Moses being an actual Egyptian. When you talk about the mother of the son can actually make the person actually a pharaoh. I agree with that. And I've been doing the research that Moses, even in the scripture, it says that his mother, whether you want to claim it as adoption or not, his mother was a Kemetic woman. So he was actually a pharaoh. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty interesting. And I don't know. I don't. I'm laughing because you're like, I don't debate anybody beneath me. I go for the top. Like, that sounded kind of strange. Like, you know, it didn't sound, for me, it just sounded like, why would you be looking for the top people if you're just trying to get the truth out?
If a young guy comes to me at the grocery store and says, "You're Ron Dalton," and I say, "Yeah," and he tells me his name, he says, "I want to debate you." I'm like,
I'm not. Let me stop you. I'm actually one of the best debaters over here. And I know you think because you wrote that, you made that movie, that you're somebody so much better, but you've never had a real debate. You debated one time with Deacon Hakah. You're not on my level as a debater, clearly. And as far as the scholarship, I don't see anything you've said that I'm not familiar with. So don't come over here condescending, because people can act like I'm disrespectful, but you are being very shady because your feelings are hurt like every other man. When I busted your piñata today, you want to start being condescending. But before, you're like, I'll debate anybody. All these Hebrews are scared of me. But now that you got your head chopped off, figuratively, now you're up here like, if a young guy comes up to you, you're in my house. I'm not in your house. I'm the HOK champion. So don't come over here with a young guy walked up to me and asked me, can he get my autograph? You did this. So peace to you. I know sa.neter's coming in to save you, but you need to slow your roll with the disrespect, because I can see when I give it back, people don't like it. If you can't debate me, if you're scared to debate me, that's fine. It's all love. We'll be cool. But don't come in here talking about if a young guy comes up to me. Don't do that. Don't do that kind of stuff over here, because we do information. And sa.neter, he's up here talking about, you're beneath me. Oh, I just debate the top. It's all good, brother. You're not the first one to run. You got your track shoes on. You were wrong about Japheth. I can do a presentation. You can watch it. Maybe you'll change your mind and come off your high horse and get down into the toughest environment and get busted.